What's up, guys? Dontavious here, three-time Team USA high jumper, five-time NCAA All-American, currently ranked number 28 in the world in the high jump, and I've helped hundreds of athletes improve their personal best in the sport. From athletes like AJ going from 5'6" to the 6'4" range, from athletes like Bo going from jumping 6'4" consistently to jumping 6'5" consistently. Many athletes have had many different progressions. All depends on the work that you put in and what you're willing to get out of it, right? And when you have the right guidance, you can achieve great heights in the sport, right? So, yeah, today we're going to be talking about actually collapsing into the pit, right? When you talk about high jump, I know sometimes you'll see an athlete and they are just not comfortable coming off of like out of their technique, right? So what usually happens is, right, the problem is you get athletes who are just so stiff when they're going and coming into the pit that they can almost hurt themselves. Or like I've heard athletes say, oh, well, my neck is stiff, or I feel like I pulled a muscle or something in my back, or all this different stuff because they're so tight and tense when they're coming into the pit, right? As a high jumper, you do not want to be tensed up when you're getting ready to lay out into this pit. You want to be as loose as you possibly can, right? So if we were to draw this, if you guys have ever thought about like, what kind of analogy can we make here, right? Not necessarily a trust fall, right? But if we just kind of draw us a high jump pit right here. This is our high jump pit. And you're getting ready to fall down in it from here. You just went over a bar. You're going to fall right down into this pit. So if you want to protect yourself, I'm going to tell you right now, the way to protect yourself is not to get tight and to get tense. That is not how you're going to protect yourself. What happens when you get tense is, right, we get stiff. When we get stiff, our body is what's the word? Going against movement. That's not what we want to do, right? We don't want to be stiff, right? We want to flow, right? So instead of being stiff, we would rather flow. And when we're talking flow, right, we just want to relax. We just want to relax and we want to collapse into the pit. If you guys have ever been in a swimming pool and someone was trying to teach someone how to float in the water, right? In order to float in the water, you have to be loose. You have to be relaxed. You have to let the water, kind of absorb and like go around your body and just take you. That's the same thing that you should be thinking about when you're collapsing into the high jump pit. You should collapse and almost fold like a piece of paper, just going into this thing like, boom. You do not want to be that person who coming down into the high jump pit and they got their arm out, sticking out, trying to catch themselves on the way down. If you're doing all of that, you don't trust it. And one thing that's going to stop you from being able to succeed in the sport is literally just your brain, your mind of being confident in yourself and trusting that you can actually perform. And if you can't even trust yourself coming down into the pit, that's a problem. Because you're a high jumper. Every time you jump in the event, you got to come down. So if every time that you're coming down, you're trying to catch yourself or you're getting scared or you're getting tensed up, that's going to hinder your progress in the sport. And you're not going to be able to reach the heights that you can actually reach. And I know what some people will say or some people will think, oh, well, that doesn't matter because at that point, I've already cleared the bar and I'm just trying to land. No, it does matter because that's a part of the jump. That's a part of the jump. That's a part of your entire jump, the way that you come down into the pit. And understanding how you land is also a representation of the way that you land is going to be directly affected by what you did over the bar. Some high jumpers, they're coming through, they're doing almost a full flip into the pit. Some people, they're landing almost sitting straight up. And some of that sometimes comes from with an athlete is just not comfortable. So the way that you land into the pit, you have to get comfortable. You have to practice landing and being comfortable, just letting your body collapse into the pit, right? Almost like you're jumping into one of those foam pits at a jump facility thing. Like, what's the word? At a jump house, whatever they call those places where you can go jump on trampoline parks, right? So if we just think about like someone floating in the water, right? Since that was a really great analogy. Like if we got the water right here and you just wanna float, right? And this is someone who is being stiff. They're stiff, they're straight as a board, right? And they just kind of trying to float and stay on top of the water, right? And on this other one, I'm gonna draw this one like no one's body's gonna do this, right? But I'm just trying to show you the difference between this athlete or this person trying to float is allowing their body to kind of shape and be the form of the water versus this person right here is trying to be so stiff like a board, they're on top of the water and they're just gonna sink right down, right? But the more relaxed individual, right, we can say relax, R, versus stiff, S. This person is going to be able to float. Same case scenario when you're talking about high jumping. The more stiff individual, they are more prone to get hurt when they come down into that pit, right? Or, face some type of injury. And this person will be just fine, right? We're just going to put an F, like they're going to be fine, okay? So with us understanding this concept of being stiff is going to make us like a board and just sink right down into the water, and being relaxed is going to allow us to float on top of the water. When you think about this in a high jump sense, us being stiff can get us hurt and cause our muscles to be tense and tight and be uncomfortable, right? But us being relaxed can cause us, to finish properly and be in a position to where we're just fine when we're coming down and we're just collapsing, bodies collapsing to the pit, we're bouncing out of that pit, like bouncing right up, right? This is where we want to be as high jumpers. We do not want to be in this stiff range. We want to be here, okay? And whenever we get to this point where we're relaxed and we're falling into this pit, this is where you can start to see yourself get comfortable. When you are comfortable where you're going to land, you can also jump more confidently. When you are comfortable where you are going to land, you can also jump more confidently, right? Because if you've ever been to a high jump competition, or like a collegiate or professional, or have even looked online and seen some jump, there have been times when the athlete, they would take off, and if this is our high jump bar, that athlete, they go from being rotated over the bar to going this way. By the time they land into the pit, if we just say the pit's here, right? It's like a 3D thing. By the time they land into the pit, this person's whole body, their whole body then turned and did a whole flip. And by the time they land like right on their body, like on their front side, right? And they kind of catch themselves. They just don't boom, they just don't flop their face into the mat, right? They just kind of catch themselves right there, right? This person is so comfortable landing that they can throw themselves into more of an extreme rotation, which is, I don't even want to say extreme, an even better rotation coming over this bar and can land like this. Just because they can, but the landing completely can affect how comfortable you are when you're going into flight. So that is the importance of being able to rotate over, actually land into a pit properly and be comfortable actually landing into a pit properly and actually relaxing whenever you get into the landing and not stiffening up, right? And this is the kind of stuff that I teach my athletes inside of my program, the High Jump Blueprint. And the way that the High Jump Blueprint works is we tackle mindset, we tackle high jump, we also do training. So I design all of the training blocks for them. And then from that point, your athlete goes into this cycle where they eventually get recruited, right? And we do this over and over and over again until they actually get better and they actually get to the point where they can achieve higher in the sport, right? So to draw this out, for example, if your athlete was to be struggling in any of these areas, which majority of high jumpers are, because this system was designed specifically to help high school high jumpers who are struggling in the sport. And usually it comes from one of these three, whether it's mindset, whether it's high jump, or whether it's the training that they're doing, weight room, plyometrics, sprinting, etc., right? It's usually one of these three things. And what we do inside of my program is that we tackle all three of these, but we also hone in and focus on where they need the most knowledge, okay, or the most help. I've had athletes only just tackle us really dive into the mindset and be able to improve by another 3 or 4 inches from just getting better in mindset, right? Before we even truly got into high jump. Like I've had athletes go into high jump, improve by 2 inches, 3 inches, 6 inches. And this, when you combine all of this together, this is how you can see an athlete improve by 4 inches or 6 inches or 8 inches. I've had an athlete improve by a full foot before, right? I've improved by a full 9 inches. I've improved by a foot from freshman to sophomore year from 4'8" to 5'10". I've improved by 9 inches from going from 6'3" to 7 feet from junior to senior year. This is how you can do that and bridge that gap and be able to make a lot of progress in the sport. Because when we attack all these things, right? We attack all three of these things. This is what eventually puts your athlete in position to get recruited, right? Right? So if you're the parent of a high school high jumper and your athlete needs help in any of these areas from mindset to high jump to training, and they actually want to jump personal best in the sport, they actually want to get to the point where they can compete at a state championship or eventually earn a college scholarship, then book a call with me down below and we'll hop on a call, walk through where your athlete is right now in their high jump journey, see where they want to get to. And if I feel like I can help you guys out, I'll walk you through my entire coaching process and my entire program, the High Jump Blueprint, so we can get your athlete on a path to success. And if you're an athlete watching this video, be sure to get this video to your parents and watch it with them and have them book a call with me so we can get your family plugged in and actually get you to your high jump goals.